And away we go.
All right, so what is in the news today?
Good question. I'll look into that right now.
All right, but I just want to shed light on something you said. You know how the last episode you said they would be missing a big opportunity if they didn't call it Ratatouille, the
Yep,
movie.
that's the one.
Well, someone agreed. Well, someone agreed with you, and I'm like, hey, you said that for
Yeah, I sure did.
yeah, yeah, and you're right. They would be missing a big opportunity if they didn't call it that. And well, let's see what they do. They probably won't call it that, but well, we're just gonna see what happens next.
Very true.
Shut up. So, did you find anything
About what?
in the news?
Oh yes. Denmark proposes copyright rights for personal likeness to curb AI deepfakes.
Wow, that sounds interesting. Let's hear more about that news.
Denmark announced plans in June 2025 to amend copyright law to give citizens ownership over their bodies, voices, and facial features to combat deepfakes. This action responds to growing misuse of AI-generated deepfakes that increasingly impersonate individuals without consent, raising concerns about identity theft and misinformation. The proposal allows people to demand removal of unauthorized digital representations from online platforms and reduces penalties for non-compliance, excluding parody and satire. Jakob Engel Schmidt, Denmark's culture minister, said the law stands an unequivocal message that everyone has the right to their own body and voice, warning of severe fines for violation. If enacted, Denmark's law would be Europe's first granting such rights, possibly influencing other countries' approaches to deepfake regulation and digital identity protection.
Very interesting of Denmark to want to do that. And I say that I 100% agree. Like, for instance, someone can legitimately make an AI deepfake to have Donald Trump endorse something heinous or something that's something that he would not usually agree with, and people can use AI to do a bunch of uh, sick, twisted things. So I would say this is for the best. This is in Denmark's and anyone else's best interest to get that unlocked before it gets all the way out of control. In this ever growing society of technology and AI and deepfakes, we really need to protect ourselves, protect our children, protect anyone who may get affected by this type of stuff. Especially, and also you need to protect yourself if you have influence. A regular person, I don't think they'll really get affected that much by it. But if you're famous, yeah, you got to protect yourself and your assets, and you just got to, or if you're or if you're a public figure of some sort, you should protect yourself. And if someone uses your likeness in that specific case, you can get paid for it. So I would say that's about it, and that's all you can. That's all we can do, and that's all the people who are up there in status can do as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else in the news?
Protesters gather in Bangkok to demand Thai Prime Minister's resignation over leaked Cambodia call.
I'm not gonna lie. We've been talking about protesters a lot lately, like literally all year long. I feel like we've never talked about protesters this much before. There must really just be a lot to protest about in
Yes,
2025.
regardless.
2023, but that's besides the point. Let's hear them out. What do they got to say?
On Saturday, thousands gathered near Bangkok's Victory Monument to protest and call for Prime Ministers Paetongtarn Shinawatra to step down following public outrage over a secretly recorded conversation with Cambodia's ex-Prime Minister Hun Sen. A phone conversation on June 15th saw Paetongtarn advising Hun Sen to disregard her political rivals an incident that ignited public anger following a border skirmish on May 28th that resulted in the death of a Cambodian soldier. The protest featured speakers, national flags, signs, and familiar faces known as yellow shirts to express loyalty to the Thai monarchy amid intensified border tensions. Pia Tongten stated that stated she had nothing to gain from the phone call, did not harm the country, is not worried, and is ready to provide evidence to support her case. The scandal fractured Pia Tongten's fragile coalition, causing the Pheu Thai party to lose its largest partner, while investigations by the Anti-Corruption Commission could lead to her removal.
Well, I will say this. I guess they do, in a way, have a right to protest, especially in terms of this particular situation. Their privacy was getting violated, so they're trying to say something about it. Um, all I can say is what are you going to do after that? What's going to happen afterwards, and how are you going to truly fix the problem? Instead of just screaming and shouting for a man to be out of office, because it takes more than shouting, it takes more than screaming. Obviously, that gets their attention, but what are you going to do once you get that attention? Are you just going to just go home and be like, oh yeah, we got heard? Or are you just going to keep screaming and shouting in hopes that they comment on the situation? I mean, if that's the case, then you're going to have to consistently be out there all day and all night. Shoot, they might have to. Dang, I think I learned this. Yeah, they might have to go. They might have to do what Gandhi did and not eat anything. I believe I'm getting that correctly, right? Like Gandhi, abstained from food and water for a good amount for a couple of days. Yeah, I'm getting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm getting that right. Yeah, they might have to pull a Gandhi and just abstain from food and water, and just stand up for what they believe in that sense. If all you're gonna do is protest, and in hopes that they come outside and do something, and probably avoid taking showers. Cannot avoid taking showers, but that'll come with it. It's like you're gonna smell. You're gonna smell. You know, I mean, or I don't know. Yeah, that's if you're willing to just stand out there all the time. But obviously, if you come back the next day, do the same thing. Uh, I don't know. I just don't know. It might not have the same effect, but but yeah, it's protests are meaningless if nothing is actually being done in the process. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Do you have anything?
Well, I can't argue with speaking out on what people disagree with, but of course, I also can't defend current governments, not just because I'm not too sure what they're doing, but mainly down to the fact that with great power comes great responsibility, and if you abuse that power for your own gains, you will be called out for it, and you will learn the hard way, and life will turn for the worst for those kind of people.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I do 100% agree on that. And yeah, we just have to wait and see what happens. If something happens, something happens. If nothing happens, nothing happens. But in other news, New York Post just posted something on Twitter yesterday. They said Vance and Buttigieg, how do you pronounce that name? Would be 2028 presidential contenders, according to a new poll. And so I said, so if this is true, are we all voting for the man, the myth, next to Tim Waltz, and the legend, Mr. Butt, whatever his name is,
But to judge,
Buttigieg, but
that's literally his name, Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg, what President Buttigieg?
Yes.
Ah, jeez, man, no, look, I'm not gonna lie, he got. I mean, I know it's his birthday, but kind of got shot in the foot with that one. I mean, if it was my name, I'd wear it proudly. But you know how many jokes that would be made.
Yeah, that's it. We're going to be hearing that for months.
Now, I feel like if I was in middle school or high school, bro, I would be. I like they would call me well, middle school, they probably just say butthead. Like, bro, his butt is literally in his name.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one thing if it was one team. I actually know you can still make fun of that.
yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, would you vote for him? Who he is?
I think he was Secretary of Transportation during the Biden administration.
I see. Huh. I see. Okay, still don't know who he is. But hey, if he's running, it doesn't affect me. I'm pretty Democrats just have people to vote. Just has someone to vote for. Who? Well, let's see if he proves himself to the Democrats and Vance. Let's see if he actually is competent outside of Trump 2028. If Trump doesn't somehow weasel his way into getting 4 more years.
Yeah.
Because Trump. That's all I got to say about that. But yeah, is there anything else in the news?
Origins of COVID-19 still unclear according to final report from World Health Organization expert group.
Still unclear, even though we've been saying for years that it was China. Even though we've been saying it was China and it was made in a lab. So the origins are still unclear.
Yeah.
That's I thought we kind of already gone through that. I thought we already established it was like COVID was made in a lab.
But yeah, well, you never know what people are trying to say to other people repeatedly so that it is firm in their minds. That is the case. Although it may not be even close remotely.
That's true. That is true. That is extremely true. Well, does it say where the origins is from, or is it just denying they don't know where the origins is?
Okay, so the World Health Organization expert group of 27 members published a final report on June 27th, 2025, assessing COVID-19 origins. This report follows a 4-year investigation hindered by withheld data, with two main hypotheses. Soon
Hy- hypo-
go.
hypothesis.
Hypothesis, yes, that's the one.
Okay.
Notic, spillover, and lab leak. The group determined that the virus most probably originated in bats and transmitted to humans through another animal, but they were unable to rule out a laboratory incident due to the insufficient data. SAGO chair Maritji Venter stated there was no proof of prior virus spread before December 2019 or evidence of lab manipulation. World Health Organization chief Tedros said all hypotheses remain open. The report's inconclusive results highlight the urgent need for greater transparency and data sharing to help prevent future pandemics in the aftermath of a global crisis that caused approximately 20 million deaths.
I see. I see. So pretty much they have established that it was from bats, but they didn't rule out a laboratory potentially making this virus either. And okay, so yeah, it's like I said, laboratory or well, I didn't say bats, but I did say laboratory. But yeah, I'll be honest, I care where the origin is, but I also don't care in a way. All I know is just like, something caused it. It wasn't like just in the air. It wasn't natural. Something caused it. Whether if it was bats or whether if it was humans, but at the same time if it was bats, I feel like we would have gotten it sooner. So I would believe that someone made it in a laboratory and leaked it out to the public more than bats, gonna be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Also,
Yeah.
I did have a guest a while ago, like a very long while ago, and did she did say that her children did caught what was potentially COVID before COVID even went mainstream. Like even a couple of years before COVID went mainstream. So that really shows that you can't. This is certainly you cannot rule out a laboratory experiment or laboratory control environment as
Yeah.
the origin for COVID.
Yeah, I agree. You definitely can't rule this type of stuff out. Yeah, you definitely cannot rule this type of stuff out. And, like, all we can do is wonder. at this point. I'm gonna be honest. That's all we can literally do is just wonder what caused this, because we're never really gonna get a definitive answer. So all we can do is just wait and see what truly caused this. Because man, I know it wasn't no bat. Like I don't know. I'm just saying, man. Like a bat would have done that a long decades ago, actually. For as long as bats have been on this earth, that would have happened probably decades ago, if not probably in 2010 or in the 90s. Literally any of those years. Maybe in the 80s, 1700. But you get what I'm trying to say. It would have happened sooner.
Yes.
Yeah. 2010, I'll be honest, if it happened in that year, I feel like it would be more believable than, obviously people would find out the truth decades later, but if it happened in 2010, it would have been a little bit more believable. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah,
It would have
it
been,
was mainly down to the access of information people had at that time.
yeah, like mainly, yeah, the acts, yeah. It's just, it would have been more believable because, yeah, it's like all we had really was the new. I mean, we had the internet, but it wasn't that popular back then. It wasn't as popular as it is now. So it's like, with the
Or widely
limited amount,
used.
yeah, or rarely, exactly, or rarely used. I don't know what happened, but it's like I used to like when I was a kid, man. It's like I used to not really care about the internet, and then and then all of a sudden I started watching YouTube videos out of nowhere all the time. I don't know. It's like I remember, like even as a kid, I realized that it's like, huh, you know, I was playing with my toys at one point, but then it's like, ever since I discovered YouTube, it's like I just was addicted to it, like because it's like I became like hooked on it. At first, I wasn't that hooked on it. I guess I don't know. I guess it's probably because I got older or something. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it's like as I was saying, yeah, would have been believable back in the day because of the limited amount of information we had, and on top of that, the internet was just getting up there in like numbers and people using it. So yeah. But is there anything else in the news?
Fans criticized Beyonce for calling Native Americans the enemies of peace.
People are gonna criticize the Queen of Beyonce. Well, I just happen to be the biggest Beyonce fan. You go, BB. Nah, let me stop. No, that's no terrible. No, no. All right, let's just get to the whole thing. No, I'm not even a fan of Beyonce. I don't hate her, but I'm just not a fan.
Fair enough.
You can read the thing now.
Alright. Beyonce sparked controversy during a Juneteenth Paris performance by wearing a t-shirt labeling Native Americans as enemies of peace. The backlash follows critiques from indigenous scholars, influencers, and historians highlighting the shirt's anti-indigenous language and harmful historical framing.
Mm.
The Buffalo Soldiers featured on the shirt were black United States Army units formed in 1866 that fought in many conflicts, including battles against indigenous people and Mexican revolutionaries during westward expansion. Historian Elena E. Roberts emphasized that while the Buffalo Soldiers can be seen as symbols of black empowerment, their involvement in violent state-led expansion complicates this perspective, and she argued that it is not possible to positively reinterpret or embrace a history rooted in imperialism. The museum dedicated to Buffalo Soldiers in Houston strives to offer a more detailed account of history despite political challenges affecting education, while Beyonce faces ongoing criticism as she prepares to perform in her hometown.
I will say this. What does she have against the Native Americans? I'll be honest. I feel like I don't know. As a pop star, she's just trying to get in the news, man. It's like because it's like, what would she specifically have against Native Americans?
That is a good question. I never thought she would be having those kinds of thoughts or opinions regarding Native Americans.
Yeah, it's like either she always had those thoughts, she just never made it known because she's a pop star, or she's just doing it for attention. or she's just doing it to get in the news, or just to get like coverage on her, or actually no, just to get more say. Does she have an upcoming album or like song that she wants streamed? If so, that's
Well,
probably the if so, that's probably the reason why.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard of anything new Beyonce is releasing. However, and looking back at her career, she has been well known for many, many years, maybe a couple decades, and she's went on to win many awards, including Grammys and many other music accolades. And to this day, she's still being recognized as one of the most notable and famous singers possibly in the world. And especially today, when people think that she's already past her prime, well, kind of, but
Well,
she's still getting attention regardless.
well, youth wise, she's past her prime. I'm well, I'm
And
joking, but it's
I can't argue that it's gonna happen to all of us.
yeah,
We will get to that point eventually.
yeah. I mean, I'm joking, but at the same time, it's like
It's true
I'm
though.
it's true, but career wise,
Still doing
I'm
pretty
not.
well.
Yeah, she's doing pretty well, but I gotta ask, man, how many Grammys do you have to win, bro, to be satisfied with yourself, man? Because I'm not gonna lie, I feel like if I won like 5 Grammys, I'd be like, all right, I don't need to win any. It's like if I won 5 Grammys or just 1 Grammy, I'd be like, all right, man, I'm satisfied with this. I don't need any more trophies. I'd probably either just if I was rich, I'd probably just melt the trophies and mold them into something, or just give them away. Because it's like if I had a ton of trophies, because it's like I don't know, you're just winning the same trophy just a different year. It's like I don't know. It's like it just means nothing. It means nothing. It's a trophy. What are you gonna do with it? Sit it on your stand and just look at and just glare at it? I think one is enough. I'm gonna be honest with you. Unless it's like I don't know. Unless it looks different each year, fine. But if it looks the same each year, then it's like, bro, who cares? I mean, that's like winning a Kids Choice Awards each year, and just having that on your stand. It's like I don't know. One isn't kind of enough for me, or 5 at that. But that's it. I was like, hey, I won this, and this. Like like in 5 separate years. I don't know. It's like I just when is enough in terms of like wanting that validation from like the people and wanting to be up in the charts like that. I don't know. It's like when are you gonna just like wind down a bit? Oh, that's what I wonder. It's probably gonna be never. Who knows? Some
Maybe maybe she can keep on going for another 5 more years, and then maybe she'll go on another more 5 years, and another 5 years to that, and another 5 years after that, and then eventually, you know what? I'm gonna settle down now. I'm gonna spend time with my grandchildren because I think by that time
I
Beyonce's
think she
children would already have families of their own.
yeah. I think she's gonna be like Madonna. Except here's the thing, Madonna has no children. Although I think she adopted one. I'm not really 100% sure. Yeah, she's gonna be like Madonna, kinda not not going anywhere or slowing down for anybody. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. It's kind of
Yeah.
sad, really. I don't know. It's like I think if I had a family, I probably would have wind down a bit. I don't know, spend time with the kids, and just I don't know, put out a song probably every couple months, and maybe an album every couple years. That's what I would have done personally. I don't know if I was a musician. I mean, I probably wouldn't get the amount of plays that I used to get, but shoot, as long as it's a stable as long as I get enough people to listen to it and it's a stable income, then fine. It's something that I can live off, then fine. In fact, I see some artists I used to listen to, and it's like I'm like, dang, bro. Here's the numbers from like what they used to get, and like their numbers are just like drastically low, but there's still enough to kind of make some form of money off of, to like make a living off of. I don't know. She's probably never gonna slow down, but that's her. And but yeah, let's see what else in the news.
G7 agrees to avoid higher taxes for US and UK companies.
All right, that seems good for the companies. Let's hear more.
The G7 nations agreed to support a proposal exempting US and UK companies from components of an existing global tax agreement. The plan aims to bring more stability to the international tax system and recognizes existing US minimal tax laws. Britain's finance minister said the agreement provides certainty and stability for businesses after concerns about additional taxes.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have a lot to say. Firstly, Oi! And secondly, well, the only thing to do now is a budget and spend the money wisely, then everything will be a lot more beneficial than what people are making it out to be. Because although you may have more money for not paying, or at least paying less on taxes than previously, it also there's something that not many companies or individuals think about. Because, well, honestly, I'm not too sure, but I still don't think about it. You could have so much money, but how you spend it matters so much. Even a difference in pennies would make a huge difference in the next few years. So it's important that whilst you're spending money, it is spent wisely and efficiently. A tax break or a reduction in taxes isn't just enough. The budgeting also plays a part, and the the direction of said companies for the future.
Well, I agree. I do agree. I do agree with what you're saying, and like, yeah, that is true. That is definitely true. And yeah, all we can do is just see what happens next from here, and see if anything good or bad happens from this point on, from this point forward. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Is just see and wait. But yeah, is there anything else in the news?
EU submits plan to regulate all eel species under SITES. Japan vows opposition.
All right, let's hear more.
Japan's Farm Minister Shinjiro Koizumi opposed the European Union's June 26, 2025 proposal to list all eel species under the Washington Convention in Tokyo. The EU proposed this due to declining eel populations and aims to impose export restrictions effective June 2027, pending two-thirds approval by member countries. Japan argues the Japanese eel population has recovered since the 90s, managing stocks with China, Taiwan, and South Korea, while cautioning that regulations could increase poaching risks. Koizumi asserted that the number of eels is adequate and that international trade does not threaten their survival, describing the EU's decision as extremely regrettable. If approved, the proposal would require legal capture proof and export permits affecting eel trade, and prompting Japan and allies to coordinate opposition at the upcoming convention meeting.
Any thoughts?
Well, I'm not going to be too harsh on the EU because they're really setting high standards given what's going on in the United States with their regulations. However, you cannot argue with the Japanese, despite whatever culture they have and whatever opinions that a lot of people will disagree with. If the Japanese have something to say, there's nothing that can go wrong with what they have to say. That's all I will say. If the Japanese have to say something, you know something's up. Because if you look at what the nation is like, despite the declining population, the infrastructure, the culture, and the technological advancements that they have is immountable. There is no arguing. Given what they have done, if they have something to say regarding most things, it's important that you take notice and prepare for what is yet to come.
I'm not gonna lie. The one thing about the Japanese is like, if their population is so declining, how were they able to survive for this long?
I think it, go on.
Shouldn't they have been no disrespect, but shouldn't they have been gone by now? I don't know. That's just me. How?
The thing is, the reason why Japanese people are still around today is based on the replacement rate within Japan. Many
The
decades
replacement?
ago, yeah, the replacement rate, as in how many children do the mother and father produce to maintain a healthy population? So there's a replacement rate of 1 something, close to 2. Anything that's close to a replacement rate of 2, where families have 2 children, where like 2 children are created per family, that is good. Anything more, the population will explode multifold in the next coming years. But if there's anything lower than 1, or even lower than 1.5, that's bad. Because out of 2 adults coming down to 1, and another 2 adults, and then making 1 again, that is a sign that the population of a country is declining.
Mhm. I see. Okay. So yeah, no, I really have nothing to say. Thanks for explaining that to me. But yeah, it's like, is there anything else in the news?
Let's see. Warren Buffett donates record $6 billion Berkshire shares.
Okay, let's hear more about that.
On June 28, 2025, Warren Buffett contributed approximately $6 billion in Berkshire Hathaway shares to the Gates Foundation, along with 4 family-run charitable organizations. This donation follows previous gifts of $5.3 billion last June and $1.14 billion in November 2024, continuing Buffett's nearly 2-decade philanthropic effort. The donation consisted of approximately 12.36 million shares of Berkshire Hathaway Class B stock, with 9.43 million shares allocated to the Gates Foundation, and the remainder distributed evenly among the Howard G. Sherwood, Susan Thompson Buffett, and Novo foundations. Buffett, who continues to hold 13.8% of Berkshire Hathaway, affirmed that he has no plans to sell any of his shares and indicated that his financial support to the Gates Foundation is set to conclude after his passing. His net worth before this gift was $152 billion, ranking him 5th richest globally, but will drop to 6th after the donation, while his total giving now exceeds $60 billion.
Interesting. All I will say is, well, I'm not gonna lie, I really don't necessarily have an initial thought or opinion on this. All I will say is, like, I hope that everything goes well, and everything is in order on his part, and hopefully things aren't going to be too messed up. Yeah, it's like I don't really have an like a real initial thought on that, but yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah, do you have anything?
Nothing else to add on?
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, is there anything else in the news? Wait,
Just
Bill
go
Gates
on.
is one of the few holders of the covered McDonald's Gold Card, which grants free food for life.
Yeah,
Warner Buffett also has one. We literally just talked about Warner Buffett, didn't we?
yes, we have.
They give billionaires free food for life, but throw away good food that could feed the homeless. Okay, bro. So someone said that. That's true, man. You give billionaires free food for life. Pretty sure most homeless men would want that card. A card that can give you free McDonald's food for life. Sounds like a pretty good deal. Well, I mean, it's McDonald's, but still, like you'd be able to eat. You'd at least have a meal every single day.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
That's true. So it's like I don't think a homeless person would be picky if, like, they were at least able to get a free meal and be able to actually use a bathroom wherever they went, whichever McDonald's they went to. Shoot, they could probably even wash up in that bathroom too. That is a pretty good deal, actually. Like, getting a free McDonald's, because it's like, you have to buy something before going to the bathroom. before they let you go to the bathroom. So it's like, hey, that's a pretty good deal. I like that. I really
Indeed.
do like that. Yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't want to eat McDonald's every single day, but nonetheless, I say that's a pretty decent deal, especially because you can get different things at McDonald's. At least it's not just a hamburger and fries and chicken nuggets. So, oh yeah, plus you can get breakfast too. Okay, okay, I guess it's not that bad then. Okay, but anyways, yeah. Is there anything else in the news?
We must help them. Morocco's students get peers back in school.
Hey, okay, school is
I'm
very
here.
important for. Oh, hey, Risk, you here?
Yeah,
I can't.
so some interesting things are happening in the UK. So
Yes.
Like,
Rachel Zegler, right? Did you have you heard about Rachel, the Snow White actress, and that? Like, she's getting
oh no,
taken massive flack for people in the theatre from theatre. Like it's
dang,
the London mayor, even politicians in London and Argentina are getting in on this.
goodness me.
Yeah, potentially she might even get banned. She'll be banned from doing public doing performances in London, the city. So she fucked. First of all, she fucked off everybody else over in America with Snow White. She made everybody hate her then, and now she's fucked off all the liberal arts people in the UK, the theatre people. Still, what can we say? She's an interesting woman.
Yeah, I mean,
So what else is going on?
if I gave my life to acting in theater, I'd probably be a little upset too. But yeah,
Like it's just gonna ruin. What else is going on?
Moroccan student Said Rifai, 15, is on a mission to help his peers pursue education in a country where an estimated 270,000 children drop out of school each year. And that's it. That's literally the story. There's nothing else
that's
after
it.
that.
Nothing
So
else after that.
who do you guys think has the best chance at getting best chance for the 2028 presidential election for the Democrats?
Well, there's some
Uh,
guy who has the last name but
Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg. Yeah.
yes, Pete Buttigieg.
Am I wrong for thinking that freaking?
we can't rule out the
I'm
man, the myth, the legend, Tim Walz.
We kind of can.
I know, I know.
Am I? What's your odds of John Fetterman?
Not a chance.
I actually think he's got a high chance of doing pretty well. I don't think he'll win, but I think he'll have a better chance than AOC.
Would you vote for him?
Plus,
Maybe.
he seems more moderate than the fucking rest of them. Get a partisan fucking Democrat from like the freaking Midwest, you might actually have a high chance. I think you do better than Gavin Newsom. I can't exactly. Everybody knows who freaking knows who. Most people know who Fetterman is. I don't think he'd be a good president, but I think he's a better option than AOC, Jeanette Crockett. But
AOC is
who
the
knows?
greatest woman of all time. No, let me stop. I can't even say it.
So what else is going on?
Just looking.
There's a lot of Republicans that seem to not care about New York City.
No, not really.
But if what happens in New York comes to Florida, comes to Texas, that's what I'm concerned about.
It
That's
comes
why I
to a
want to
lot
nip
of
that in the
places
bud.
all over the US.
Yes, it'll be like fucking cockroaches. If they get a whiff of success of this, they'll try and push this ideology all across the states. Would you say AOC is a popular politician?
Popular enough.
With the vast majority of Democrats and not a small group, which I don't think AOC's got the buying power with the moderate Democrat faction.
Maybe
I
not the
think she's got it
moderate.
with a bunch of young. I think she's got it with a bunch of very insane leftists. I don't think she has the buying power with the moderate Democrats, and I honestly don't. I honestly don't think it's in the best interest of the Democrats to even put up a real candidate in the 2028 election. If I were them, I think they should just rebuild focus on rebuilding their party, put up a placeholder candidate, try and win some seats, but I wouldn't be actively campaigning for presidential elections. What else? Anybody there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Brazil strikes deal with Musk's Starlink to curb criminal use in the Amazon rainforest.
I thought they were again. I thought Brazil was anti, like, fucking.
Never mind. I'm back.
Hmm.
So what are we talking about?
Interesting.
Well, the thing is, there's a difference between one's opinions on Musk and opinions on the companies and the advancements that Musk provides for the world. So although Brazil Supreme Court had something going against Twitter X, I think now Brazil is trying to get Starlink to work in Brazil because it can provide internet access for even the remote areas.
Interesting. So what else is there?
Facebook
Sorry.
AI wants to scan your photos, even those you've never shared.
Wow, that's creepy.
Yeah.
Hear more about that.
Facebook's new feature can subject all your phone's photos to cloud processing designed to generate AI versions.
I don't want my photos or images in Facebook's system. I don't want them to have information like that on me. I don't
Yeah,
want them to sell that to the fucking feds. Because they
yeah,
do that. They have a backdoor company which they own that they use to sell your information to the feds.
yeah. What kind of sick kick is this, Zuck?
The same thing as X probably does the exact same thing. They all sell our information to the feds.
Yeah, that's true. No, I don't know what they could have on me. I don't really post anything bad.
Anything for the
Do
big cheese.
do you sometimes criticize people?
No, not really.
Well, then you're fine.
Yeah, it's like they got nothing on. And if I had before, it's like I probably most likely deleted it.
Probably.
But other than that, I don't remember criticizing anybody or you know.
True.
Yeah, so like my file is probably all the way in the back, probably.
True.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't want them scanning my face. I wouldn't want.
Florida is supposedly creating a new illegal detention center, Alligator Alcatraz,
Really,
Florida.
I see. Florida is very interesting, ain't it?
But the thing is, it's a very expensive state to live in.
That's true. I'm pretty sure I have a boss who said it was expensive too. Or I'm
It's an
pretty sure he said.
expensive state. It's an expensive state. Like every state's expensive. If you truly want cheap states, some of the states in the south are probably easier.
Yeah, I was about to say there are some states that are at least reasonably priced, even if they are somewhat expensive.
The only downside is there's probably less job opportunities, but
Hey, I'll take it.
yeah,
Hey, there's less job opportunities now. I'm in New York.
exactly.
I'm
The
in
thing
New
is,
York.
I can't. Do you honestly? Do we? Is that Albani get? Is the socialist? Is it likely that socialist will get in?
Who
Maybe.
the Muslim guy?
Yeah,
Azora
yeah.
Mamdani.
Yeah, I know.
What's the chances that he gets in?
Well, I think people are tired of Mayor Eric Adams, so there's somewhat of a chance, but I don't really know how big his chances are.
And New York City does have very noticeable Democratic support. Mamdani does have a chance.
Yeah.
Does he have the Jamie? Did you know that Texas is about to launch its own stock exchange in the next year?
I might have heard something similar to it in the
Yes.
past.
How bad would it be for New York if the New York Stock Exchange were to delist all their companies and relist on the Texas Stock Exchange? How bad would it be for the New York's economy if
Very bad. Very, very
the
bad.
Nasdaq were to move to completely delist or almost completely delist and move to the Texas Stock Exchange? How much do you
That would
think
make a
these
huge
busy
difference.
billionaires that are going to be fucked off by this new mayor if that guy gets in are going to say, you know what? We're going to take our business, we'll take our share listings, and we'll go to Texas, where we're actually welcome, and we'll cripple you, buddy. These multi-millionaires, though, right? Boston CEOs and venture capitalist firms, these bankers, right? And these people, they're very wealthy.
Oh yes,
They're also very petty.
indeed they are.
How funny would it be if if this Mandani guy is the cause of them losing the fucking New York Stock Exchange?
That would be embarrassing.
But the thing is, though, the Hong Kong Stock Exchange is fucked, right? The Chinese Stock Exchange, Shanghai Stock Exchange is fucked. London is slowly recovering. New York is kind of fucked. Singapore is rising as a stock exchange. Imagine how much listings we can take from Asia and New York from this.
Texas would benefit so much in the next few
Texas
years.
would benefit so much. Florida's planning on doing it as well. We might benefit sometime as well. We could potentially benefit from as well. Some of the Asia companies, they're not so keen on America, mainly China and Indonesia. We could probably take some of their listings listed in London. But it'd be funny. The New York Stock Exchange generates trillions, if not big amounts of big bucks for New York. It'd be funny. Who knows what will happen? I think Florida will be the hub for crypto, and I think Texas will be the hub for financial companies.
You think?
Yeah, well, if this Muslim gets in and he pushes for his policies he wants, he's going to drive all the fucking businesses, the people that actually have the money, to
To
fucking
go
Texas
somewhere
and
else.
Florida. Yeah, they've got options. For years, they've been saying New York is too fucking expensive,
And it is,
and
mostly.
there's better value propositions in Tennessee and Florida.
And there is.
Yeah. There's better opportunities. And besides, and the ones that don't want to live, there's people that are probably saying there's better opportunities in Indonesia and like freaking Asia as well. Some of them might even move to freaking Indonesia and Asia or Singapore, quite frankly, because there's better. I think there's going to be more economic opportunities in Asia, if I'm being honest. From the rise of India, the rise of Indonesia, the rebound of Japan, the rise of Malaysia, I think Pakistan will always be poor. I think India will, to a certain extent, will always have tons of poor people. So what else is there?
Let's see. US grid on right track to avoid incidents similar to Spain's April blackout.
Okay, let's hear more about that.
A report from the Spanish grid operator said the April 28th blackout was caused by failure to control surges in voltage on the grid that caused power generation to go offline.
E.g., too much solar panels, not enough oil and gas. Drill, baby, drill. I just learned some interesting information today, but yeah, I think I've become. So more older I get, I think I'm becoming more. I'm realizing more. I'm realizing raising the minimum wage only makes people poorer.
Really?
Yes,
How so?
because as soon as you raise minimum wage, right, prices of everything else goes up.
That's true.
As soon as yeah. Instead of raising wage, maybe allow the employee, maybe promote overtime, and quite frankly, maybe make the working standards better, and make sure the employees that work these jobs get a good pension at the end of their fucking career. Keep a steady wage. As long as people can afford to fucking live and buy a house, that's all that really matters.
That's
Yeah.
true. But is there anything else in the news?
Trump won out on Trump won an injunction on allowing to deport people and take away birthright citizenship from, like, it's not that he wants to take it away from Americans. He basically wants to make it so, like, any bastard from across the fucking border, right? So this pregnant baby mama from fucking Mexico, she comes over the fucking border, right?
Mm-hmm.
She takes her right down the thing. She lets someone kid, and basically uses it a way to get free citizenship once the kid turns 18.
I
And
would
that
say
bill was originally created to basically give American former slaves, citizenship. I don't see the reason why that should apply, quite frankly, to
every other group.
every other group, and quite frankly, I don't think it really should apply to anybody that comes across the border. The people that have citizenship, right? I'm pretty sure all the former slaves, have citizenship. Children have citizenship.
Well, all the former slaves are.
You would think, because they're all dead.
Yeah,
So that bill should become 9 points, or basically should have dissolved. Realistically, that legislation should have probably resolved after.
you think it should have been like
It should have resolved as soon as everybody should have been absolved as soon as every freaking former slave basically passed away and everybody was integrated.
You think it should have just been temporary for that time?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think the founding fathers or Abraham Lincoln ever thought, maybe there'll be some fucking baby mama codger abuse this to get into this country to claim birthright citizenship. But I suppose it's similar to the UK in that week, not to the UK. In fact, that we let every culture come in here. I went into my city, right? I realised there are so many people in this place that, quite frankly, came here illegally.
How many Muslims are there? How did you see?
A couple. I can't tell if they're actually people that came here legally or not.
I feel like you'd be able to tell if they were if they were here legally.
I think it's hard to tell.
I see.
It's really hard to tell. Would you say the same, Jamie?
Yeah. Don't see why not.
It's hard to tell. There's that many of them. It's hard to tell.
Because they all wear the same thing, and it's just hard to
No,
tell.
they wear different clothes. It's hard to tell are they legal or not. They act like a normal person, basically. But it's hard to tell. Did they come here legally? Did they break the law? Did they use some fucking hit? Are they secretly freaking taking benefits off us?
I think if they still speak their native language, for the majority, yeah, it's easy.
Well, you see a lot of them then. You even see that with the Polish then.
Okay, yeah.
You see some of them that speak the language and that, but
Yeah, if they're still like fluent, if they're still like for the most part speaking their native language and don't have a lick of English in them, then yeah, I would say that they're legal.
yeah.
But yeah, is there anything else in the news?
Texas has banned China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea from buying land in their state.
I see. Texas finally taking a stand. Texas
For
is tired.
what? What's it take a stand against?
I'm just looking at there's this post I saw on Instagram. There could be a story on there.
What is it? You said something about Texas. What's going on in Texas?
Texas is preventing nations from buying land in Texas.
Texas.
Why is it always her?
What?
Why is it always the radicals that freaking have about 11,000 word counts? All the other Supreme Court justices do 96 words to a minimum 4,000. Lowest is 90 words. And then you got Ketanji Brown Jackson with 11,000 words. Why? Like, dude, it's always the new ones. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't get it either. But yeah, seems like Texas is really. I don't know. Yeah, I guess they just don't want people. I guess they just don't want random people buying land off of them. That's how I
What, are
see
they
it.
going after China?
I suppose so.
What was the bill? Like you said, like they said they don't want to buy land. People buying land. So you're saying foreign governments buying land?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's just saying that countries like China, Iran, North Korea, and Russia, they can't buy land within Texas anymore. I'm trying to look for a news story that says
allowing
that.
fucking Brits. To be fair, I'd be skeptical of allowing government-affiliated agencies from Britain to buy land in America, if I'm being truly honest. And I'd be skeptical. I think I'd be skeptical of it. Fair enough if you're a local person, right, and you're a citizen, right. I'd be a bit iffy about even Brits buying land in America. I think it's a bit weird. But saying that, the Queen probably still owns a decent portion of land in America, in North America. Probably in the US and Canada. They just don't publicly talk about it because it would make the independence a bit a mute point. Does the king own land in a land?
Good question.
I know the royal family kept their financial interest in America even after they left.
Yes.
I'm presuming that would include land corporations. The Hudson Bay Corporation is effectively the king. So what's the difference between socialism and communism?
Is if you have something extra when no one has anything left, people with the extra give the access to those who don't have any. And that's roughly what I'm getting from socialism. With communism, it is all the companies, all the organizations that are under state operation. That is a rough and very short description on the differences, in my opinion. Socialism is just communism light.
What would you say the powers of a lower court should be? Should a lower court be able to freaking mess and restrict federal legislation or derail?
Well, if
you want to go against that, should they have to file in federal court?
I think there has to be some kind of filing and state a clear reason for why having some such amendments to laws in court or in legislation.
No, I'm saying that should a lower court be able to do be able to enforce injunctions on a president compared to the federal government. Because to me, I think the lower court should quite honestly only be doing with civil matters of the everyday people, of the single state, of the individual states, or individual districts of the state. Whereas a federal court, in my view, would probably include all 50 states. And then the Supreme Court, which is above them. So what's our equivalent? Was the House of Lords our equivalent to the Supreme Court?
No, the United Kingdom have their own Supreme Court. House of Lords is equivalent to an unelected group of senators.
Should we really have them in this modern day and age?
Well, on one hand, having people who are not elected keeps some kind of balance on. I'm not defending not having unelected individuals, but having people who are not put in place from votes by people who could be persuaded by what many people could say or think of people. I think there's a balance, creates a balance between people elected by the people and there are groups of people who've been put into a position of power, like have their own unique perspective, which are outside of the people. Now, I do think there should be some kind of reform and adjustments to the current government in the UK.
They should, but I doubt. I personally, I don't want us to end up like Netherlands, where we're gridlocked with like a four-party system and we can't change anything, and we're perpetual terror.
It is complicated to talk about, but at some point in the future, there will be changes.
Is there anything else in the news?
I think that's us.
All right.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace.